So when you hear about the end of work, the jobs like truck driver jobs, which will be replaced by
absolutely
self-driving cars, you think,
what are these men going to do? Yeah.
In this next generation, I think you're going to see the death rate continue to climb.
Nice deep breath.
Local Dr. Craig Denham buys into the economic hypothesis.
Economics is a major component. Job availability is a major component.
So, case closed. Economics explains the epidemic of suicide and overdose deaths ravaging America's white working class. Not so fast, say Case and Deaton.
Because Europeans have suffered too in this, the jobs leaving the country, but we don't see them killing themselves.
Yeah, Spain suffered. The unemployment rate went from 5% to like 25%, and health improved.
And what about working class black Americans?
African Americans' rates of deaths from suicide, drug overdose, and alcohol have been flat. They have not risen.
It's not as if stress is something new to the black American population. We've been dealing with stress for quite a long time.
Economist Derek Hamilton.
The impact of stress is not new, so that's why you're probably not seeing an uptick in the way it is for whites. We're used to struggle, unfortunately.
And also there's this argument on the other side that, whites have been ahead for so long that when they see their world coming apart, even though they're still doing much better than blacks, then they see equalization as oppression.
The group that they studied is one that has, by almost every concrete measure, been falling behind in recent decades.
Economist Bob Frank has devoted much of his career to the study of inequality.
Life is graded on the curve. It's not how well you do in absolute terms, it's how well you do relative to your competitors.
Or relative to your own past.
And if you're in a chronic loser position, I think that's a position that just wears people down eventually.
Psychologically and physiologically, as low status is linked to decreased serotonin in the brain, which can cause dysphoria, a state of intense unease and distress.
If you're exposed to having low status in a chronic way and experiencing protracted feelings of dysphoria, it's not surprising that many people would turn to drink and drugs as a way to alleviate such feelings.
In fact, according to a recent study by economist Alan Kruger, middle-aged men who've dropped out of the labor force report notably low levels of emotional well-being, and more than half take pain medication every day.
And so if you suffer enough and your kids are not doing very well and the world's going to hell in a handbasket, then suicide either directly or through painkillers or alcohol might seem like a not completely crazy thing to do.
There is, we should acknowledge, another take on the rise in so-called deaths of despair.
I don't buy into the everything fell apart, so now I can't do nothing. I still believe in the American dream.
Anthony Flannery, who works long hours in healthcare and on funding his dream of making music full-time, doesn't dispute the data. He just doesn't think they provide an excuse or even much of an explanation.
So people that lay around and give up, I don't relate to it. It's like, okay, I can understand getting knocked down. And now I don't know what to do, I'm overwhelmed. I get that, I've been there countless times. But you have to get focused, pick yourself up, find a direction, and make it happen in your life and for your family.
But if the problem is a decline in moral fiber, what would explain that? Too easy access to remedies that seem to cure all problems until they become the problem themselves? Or longer term, the deteriorating economics of white working-age America relative to any and all expectations. For the PBS NewsHour, economics correspondent Paul Salman, reporting from Kentucky.